So let's go ahead and start creating a dictionary over here. So dictionary is equal to, so just that we can test this out, dictionary is equal to blank dictionary. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create I'm just going to populate it very easily, which is that I'm going to say for I in range, and we're going to use what I learned earlier, which is the ORD function. So from 97 to 122, 23 inclusive, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to say d of I is equal to ORD. And if you weren't there, what ORD does is that it takes it's not the ORD. ORD takes a letter and turns it into a number. And what I'm going to use here is the CHR function, which takes a number and turns it into the appropriate letter according to Unicode. Again, check out the previous video if you're interested in more detail of that works, especially Tom Scott's video. But here I'm going to just simply say that. Print D. So we're going to run that. It's going to come up with O at the end because of our previous examples, but we can see, hey, 97 goes to A, the string A, 98 goes to B, 99 C, and so on. So basically, I just wanted to do this so that I could populate the dictionary, okay? It's because I want to be able to iterate over it, and I want the keys and the values to be distinct here. So we've got numbers for the keys that aren't 0 through whatever, and I've got strings for the values. Okay? So how do I iterate over them? But let's just try and see what Python does. For thing in D. Like, wonderful thing about Python is it's very easy to experiment. Print thing. So it outputs 97, 98, 99. It's hard to see the 97 there because of my debug console, but whatever. It's outputting all of those keys, right? The keys were the numbers, right? So, and this kind of makes sense if you think about it. You think, okay, for thing in key, so it's for key. I don't think I can use for key in the dictionary, right? And this will print out the key, right? And this makes sense because when I was asking if something was in the dictionary, it was checking to see if the key was in there in the dictionary. So if you just do that, but if you can't remember that, right, and you think that's like a lot to remember, then don't worry, Python has you covered. You can just simply say keys, like this. For key in dictionary keys. And you can grab just the keys, which is great. Okay, if you're interested, though, in the values, right, what if you just care about the values? You don't care about the keys for some reason. Well, there's a couple ways we can do that. One way we can do that is for every single key in the keys, we can then print out the get operation on that key. And that's going to get all of our letters. And again, the O is printed at the bottom because of this, not because of any weird error. Okay, next. Okay, what are we going to do? So what if I just really don't want to use keys at all, though? Right? I could also use values. So for v in values, right? And that gives me that, all the values. But what if you say, and what if you care about both things? What if you want both things in there? So you could say let's see, one way you could do that is for k in D. So for the key in the dictionary, print k, d of k. So in other words, print the key and the thing associated with the key. And you could totally do that. Print them both out. I'm curious because I've never tried this, so I actually genuinely don't know. Does this work? Print. Does this just work out of the box? I wonder. Or am I going to get an error? Yep. You cannot unpack integers, it's saying. Okay, so what I could do, but what if you really want both things and you want them easily and you don't want to do that get operation? So items. So let's go ahead and, so I could say for item in d.items, this gets you both the keys and the values, right? So here is a tuple, right? Tuples are just like lists, but you can't change them, right? And then let's go ahead and see, I just want to see if my theory will work here, because if it's a tuple, you should be able to do what's called unpacking on it. So let's go ahead and see. And yes, you can do that. So if you want to get both of them at the same time, you can either store them in a single variable or you can give them two variables if you're dealing with items. That's how you iterate through them. Super useful, super powerful. That's really all there is. So there's get, set, checking whether it's in there, right? And then iterating through it. But wait, what about one more thing? What about removing it? Okay, yeah, sure. So you probably never so I honestly never have done this except in class to show how it works, but let's say I def, so let's say, but to remove something, you just simply do del, and then what we're going to say is d, and then the key value pair you want to remove, so specifically the key. So let's go ahead and remove y, 121. Oh, I don't want to close it, cancel, save, run. And as you can see, y is now gone. So that's how you remove things. You're never going to use it, probably. Watch me eat my words on that. Anyway, so here you go. This is the way you iterate through these things. All right, so now let's go ahead and approach the problem. All right, in the way we thought before. And it's going to look a little weird. It's going to look alien. But I will promise it makes sense. And pretty much every problem you're going to use in this class will follow this pattern. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.